Alright, nobody move. Stick up. Alright, what you just witnessed was an example of how a concealed carry permit can save your life in a time of robbery or terrorism. My name is Evan Chase, and today I'll be conducting a persuasion speech on why America should be encouraging more concealed carry permits within our society. Okay, the agenda for the speech, we're going to talk about some of the oppositions for gun control. We're going to talk about the support that's out there for concealed handguns, and we'll go over our conclusion. Okay, before we get into the references, the reason that concealed carry permits are important is because if you've watched the news lately, there's a lot of domestic attacks in France and in the United States and abroad, and these put us in a very vital situation which is detrimental to our own personal safety. In these cases, we have seen that police and other responders oftentimes make it to the scene after the shootings have taken place and numerous people have been killed. Okay, so today my attempt is to persuade you to want to achieve and get a concealed carry gun permit so that you can protect yourself and your family. Some of the references I used for this speech, we used Investigating the Link Between Gun Possession and Gun Assault by Charles Branas. And then we got some statistics from legallyarmed.com. All right. And then Cookie C, Young People's Attitudes Towards Guns in America, Great Britain and Western Australia. So we have a very diverse set of references that we're going to be covering in this topic as well, not just America, but globally. Okay, some of the arguments for opposition of gun control. Statistically speaking, you're 4.5 more times likely to be shot when carrying a gun for self-defense. Recently, a lot of the experts have said that if you're carrying a concealed handgun and you pull it out in a robbery or a terrorist attack, usually you're going to be the first person that gets targeted to be shot. Because usually the terrorists or robbers carry AK-47 style weapons or some type of assault rifle. So a handgun will offer not a lot of firepower against those type of weaponry. One example of this is there was an Iraq War veteran shot after robbers attempted to rob him, and he pulled out his handgun. So in this case, an example of this was there was a veteran who was pulled up to ask for directions, and somebody had tried to rob him, and he pulled out his gun and shot one of the robbers in the stomach. However, there was about 4 other thugs there, and they shot him in return and killed him. So this is another reason why, if he would have just given up the money or whatever they were asking for, he would have likely survived the situation, but instead he chose to self-defend with concealed carry, and he wound up getting shot. And another opposition for gun control is the interpretation of the Second Amendment. And what they say is that when the Bill of Rights was first initially written, that they did not consider the type of weaponry that we would have today. So that's why they are saying that there's more gun control need, because they didn't consider the technological advances at the time. Support for concealed handguns. Basically the reason you should is everybody has a right to carry. As the Second Amendment, everybody has a right to carry a firearm, and therefore we should be using those rights, because that is what our forefathers have fought and died for to establish in our country. Another thing is, it's suggested that the concealed carry actually causes the crime rate to go down. Much like the old Wild West days in Western America, it was very common for people to carry a handgun on them at all times. Even the waitresses, the barmans, everybody usually commonly carried a revolver with them. So during those times, crime was much less than it is today. And one of the things they attribute that towards is concealed carry or open carry permits. And another reason is, one example is concealed carry would offer a lot of protection, mostly on college campuses, and also just within our city streets. If terrorists knows that every citizen is armed with a gun, it's going to deter them from attacking because they know that they're going to be outnumbered in terms of guns and weaponry. So that would possibly deter that or even crime as well. Okay, so in conclusion, all right, the three main supporting ideas for why you should have a concealed carry permit. Okay, one, it'll always come with opposition, but it's one of your Second Amendment rights, and therefore you should exercise your right just as you would voting, and just as you would any other right that you have. Okay, freedom of speech. Okay, we do not give up those rights, so why should we give up our right to carry a gun? Okay. Next is it can effectively save lives. As mentioned in our demonstration briefly, that if there's a group of people and I'm one gunman, even one concealed carry gunman can save the life of many people in the right circumstances. So it can save lives in that case. Okay. And lastly, is that it puts us in the position to outnumber the terrorists and other people who are planning attacks on America or foreign soil, okay, wherever we may reside. So if we outnumber our opposition, it can deter that crime no matter where it comes from. Okay, I thank you for your attention, everybody. Okay, and always remember that, if a gunman were to come up to you, okay, or one of your family members, how would you protect yourself? How would you protect your family in that crisis? Thank you.